Hello friends, welcome to Tech Granth. In our last videos, we have seen how to create a Docker file using Dockerfile instructions and using build command, how to create a Docker image using that Docker file, and on top of that, we used those Docker images to run our containers. So I hope my last videos will give you an idea about Docker files, and you must have know about a lot of things about Docker files. So this video is about the best practices to write a Docker file. It doesn't mean that you know all the Docker file instruction and just keep putting those instructions as many as in numbers and then create a Docker image and run containers on top of that. So we have some best practices to write a Docker file. So because we have some issues, right? Whenever we write a Docker file with basic knowledge, then we might have a large file size or Docker file size, and that will result a large image size as well. Then we have another issue. If we have large image size, then it will take more time to build and to run our containers as well. Then we have complexity and dependency, where we should create our Docker file that everyone can easily understand those Docker files, and decouple applications about we should use one container for one functionality of our application, so that it will be easier to troubleshoot and debugging purpose. We can use multi-stage builds, where we have multiple builds in our single Docker file, and in that we can use any of those builds from a single Docker file. I'll show you that just now. Then for large file or large image size, what we can do, we can do like we should have our build context size as much as less as possible. Okay, and then we can create our Docker files not by just writing everything through any editor. We can use pipe commands or through the std input to create a Docker file. We can also avoid installing extra or unnecessary packages which will not be helpful to us, but just create the size. Those will just increase our file size and also the image size. Then we can also exclude some of the package with .docker ignore file. Uh, I'll show you that as well, how we can use that. We can reduce the build time to minimize by minimizing the number of layers in our Docker file, and also by leveraging build cache. So if I'll summarize all these things, so then our main goal is to make a smallest image size, uh, which will uh, which will be having fastest image build and quickest container will be running. So this first of all, create ephemeral containers. By ephemeral means that the container can be stopped and destroyed, and then if you want, we can rebuild and replaced with an absolute minimum set of configuration. And okay, all let's see how we can implement all these in our Docker file. So let's go to our terminal and have a look. So let's first of all see how we can reduce our image size or our Docker file size, right? Basically, if you will have a Docker file of any size, we have main motive is to reduce our image size. So let's see how that size increase and how we can reduce that. Before for that, we have to understand the build context. I have already discussed about that in our Docker file first video, part one. You can have a look there as well. But let me summarize here as well. When we issue a docker build command, the current working directory uh, from where we run the docker build command, that will be used as build context. By default, the docker file is assumed to be located at that location, but we can also specify a different location, which I also showed in last video, where we use -f flag to provide the docker file location. So regardless of where the docker file actually lives, all recursive content of files and directory in the current directory are sent to docker daemon as the build context. Okay, so let's see. Uh, let's create a directory for build context. Let me take it as tz techgrun, right? I have already created that. Let's just move to tg. Okay, here you will see we have go app that we will not be using right now. We'll see that later. So we will create a docker file here, and till now you have seen we create a docker file by using vi or vim editor, but now we will use them using cat command, or just with a single line. So let me just show you first, and I have one docker file at my default location. Okay, if I'll show you this docker file, this is having from busybox is the docker image, base image. Copy hello. Hello is will be having a file where we write hello word only, and then we'll run the command cat hello once the container will run. So now we will not be using this docker file. We will go to our tg folder, and here you can see we do not have any docker file here right now. So we will create first, because we will be using hello file, so we will create hello file here with hello content. Okay, so we will just redirect it to hello file. You can see hello file is created. Now what we will do, we will create a docker file same as I shown the existing one. So we will use echo hyphen e will be using this all content within the quotes. So we will be using here from busybox the same as here, then backslash n for new line character, right? For a new line, in the new line we will be using copy hello and this one, which is same here, right? Okay, I forgot to mention slash here, so we can use the same, right? Then again, because we want to have them in the new lines, separate lines, right? All instructions. So again, we will use backslash n for a new line for run instruction, and then run cat hello again. Okay, within the container that command will run. And using this, we will create a docker file like this, redirect it to docker file. So if I'll press enter, now ls, you can see this docker file has been created here, and if I'll cat it again, you can see the same like we have at our default location. It is almost same, because I just forgot slash writing slash here, right? That is the same, so we can create our docker files like this as well. Okay, so now if we create docker build hyphen t hello app, okay, hello app, and we will giving tag as version 1. Okay, press enter. Okay, we forgot to, let me just clear my screen, and we forgot to provide dot, which will be the current working directory. Okay, press enter, and you can see here, uh, just focus on this line, right? It is saying sending build context to Docker daemon, which is 5.12 KB only. Okay, that is the build context here we will be using. Okay, now what we will do, we will move that Docker file and this hello file into separate directory, and we'll build a second version of this image. And we also would not use cache from our last build, so we will use hyphen hyphen no cache option there. Okay, and we will use hyphen f option to point to the Docker file location, and also specify the directory of the build context. So here we'll again create mkdir hyphen p Docker files and context for build context. Okay, so if we'll see, you can see here context and Docker file directory has been created. And now we will move this Docker file to Docker files and hello to context directory. Okay, and press enter. Now if we'll see, we have this. We'll go to this context and see here we have hello. So we'll just go to back to last directory. Now we will build again version 2 of that application. So docker build hyphen hyphen no cache. This option we will use to avoid using cache of last build. Then hyphen t for tag, and hello app will be the with the version 2 tag. And now hyphen f will be using to provide the location of Docker file. So we have Docker file directory, and then we have Docker file. So location will be this, and build context location will be context. Okay, so we will be using like this. Press enter. Now you can see the build context, sending build context will be 2.6 KB. Okay. Earlier, you can see it was 5.12 KB, right? It was 5 KB almost, and now it is just 2 KB. As it was using this Go app, right, directory location as well in the context file. So including files which are not necessary for building an image will result in a larger build context and larger image size. So if we'll see Docker images, okay, here the size is not showing difference, but it makes a difference. And when the image size will be larger, that will also increase the time to build that image, and time to pull or push that image from registry, and the container runtime size as well. So as you saw, we have used this command to create our Docker file. Okay, but we have another option as well, without redirecting and without using this echo command as well. So if I'll remove that Docker file here, which we are having here, so rm Docker file. Okay, so now if we want to now we will not only create Docker file, we will directly build our image. Using that echo hyphen e and the same content from bgbox, run echo hello world, and then pipe, using pipe we will just directly build it using docker build and hyphen. What we'll do, we'll take this content from here and provided it to docker build. Okay, I will not be using this one as well, but I'll show you the similar command for that. Okay, so what we'll do, the easiest option will be, we'll just copy this here. Okay, then we'll use these less than sign to less than sign. Okay, then EOF, end of file. Okay, press enter, and then the same which we writes in our docker file. Okay, this from bgbox, copy and paste here, then enter, then run hello world, copy and paste. Okay, these two things we'll use in our docker file as well. Then press enter and again EOF. So what EOF means, between these two EOF will be the content which will be used provided to docker build command, as it was doing by pipe and this hyphen option. Here it will be done by these option. Okay, then if we'll press enter, so it will directly build an image for us. Okay, so if we'll see docker images, you can see just 7 seconds ago this build has been done for an image. We did not provide any tag name here, so it is showing just none here. So the main benefit of using this option, right, this one, is that we did not send any build context right now. We just take a docker file from std in this one, right, whichever we will provide the input, standard input. So it will take use those standard input and create a image for us without sending any build context. If I as we have used docker build only here, we can also use docker build with tag. Let me clear it and then again paste that. Now docker build with tag, this one, and then hyphen and two greater less than symbol, and then EOF, press enter, and then again those from bgbox and run echo hello world. Paste it. Okay, and if I'll press enter here, so you can see it is too fast here. So if we'll check docker images, you can see my image has been created, okay, with the latest tag. Okay, so we can use this option where we omit that we were not used that build context, can be useful in situation where our docker file does not require any files to be copied into the image, and which will improve the build speed, as we are not sending any file to the daemon, right? If we want to improve more the build speed, we can do that by excluding some files from our build context location. To use that, we can exclude those files using docker ignore file, which ignores the file whichever we have defined in that file, and that will also result image less image size. But this option, right? This option uh, it will not be useful it will fail when we attempt to build a Docker file that use copy or add instruction in that. Okay, so let me show you how. So let me just remove this context and Docker files. Okay, now we have only go app here. So let me just create a file, small file here, uh, test file dot txt. Okay, you can see we have created that file. Now we will just build that image using the same syntax we used earlier, right? Docker build hyphen t my image latest and this hyphen to less than symbol end of file. And but here we will be using copy instruction which will, okay, let me just cancel it and I'll just, okay, from busybox, then copy test file.txt and then run cat and test file.txt and then end of file. If we'll run this, it will supposed to fail, right? So you can see copy failed. Okay, no such file or directory because that same syntax will not work with that copy and add instructions. So now to resolve that, what we will use, we will just use the same Docker build image, right? Latest. And now we will use hyphen F. Okay. Hyphen F, then hyphen and dot uh, for the build context, and then less than symbol EOF, same, and then enter, and we'll copy that same contents, right? Paste and end of file. So what we have changed here, we just changed hyphen F, okay, and dot. So this syntax can be used to build an image using files on our local file system, right? But using a Docker file from std in, this one, okay. Hyphen F option is to specify the Docker file to use, okay, the Docker file to use, and hyphen as file name to instruct Docker to read the Docker file from std in. Okay, it means hyphen F hyphen will be used to read the Docker file from here. Okay, and this dot will be used as current directory for the build context. So let me just enter, and now you can see earlier the build context was sent to Docker daemon as 2 KB and now it is 4 KB. Means our file has been copied from a local to container, a local to image, right? And you can see this is successfully built, which was earlier failed. Okay, this copy was failed. So if I'll create it and then see Docker images, you can see the new one has been created just 34 seconds ago. Okay, so that was the syntax for using build context as local and docker file from std in. Now next we can also use build context from remote directory as well. So in this you can see we are using the same command -f will be for docker file location which will be read from this std in, and this will be the build context remote location. Okay, earlier we were using dot here, now we will be using github.com, this remote location from github or any repository you can use. So from here press enter, then we can use the same busybox image, base image, and we'll use copy and hello.c, that will be a file here, and then eof. Okay, so let's run it. Let's see if it works. So you can see it has been copied. Now the build context is 29 KB because we use the remote build context from GitHub, and that copied and that updated that image. So Docker images, you can see 21 seconds ago this has been updated. Okay, so now like this we can use a remote build context and docker file from std in. So the next thing I'll say, okay, if I'll use run like this, okay, run instruction like this, as I told earlier that we can use multiple commands within single run instruction to make the image size as small as, right? So here we use apt-get update and apt-get install -y, but still we want to install many packages. Okay, so we will use this backslash, okay, to divide the lines or multi-line arguments. But then we will use the alphanumerically. Okay, these one. It will help us to avoid the duplication of these packages and make the list much easier to update. We can easily identify which package is there because this is alphanumerically sorted. So it will also help us to others to easier to read and review our Docker files. And we should add a space before this backslash. Okay, so it will also be helpful to reduce our image size and to troubleshoot, or it will remove the dependency and complexity. Okay, so let me just cancel it as of now. Next we should leverage the build cache. Whenever we build an image, docker steps through the instructions whichever we write in our docker file. Docker execute those in the order we specified. As the each instruction is examined, Docker looks for existing image in its cache that it can reuse rather than create a new or duplicate image. If we do not want to use that cache, we can use that option which we used earlier, hyphen no cache equal to true in the docker build command. Then we can minimize number of layers where only as I mentioned earlier as well, only the instructions like run, copy or add, those will create layers, read-only layers. Other instructions create temporary intermediate images and do not increase the size of build. Only the run, copy and add instructions uh, will increase the size of our build. So wherever possible, we can use multi-stage builds and only copy the artifacts we we want into our final image. So it will allow us to include tools and debug information in our intermediate build stage without increasing the size of our final image. So we will see that multi-stage builds how it works. Then decouple application, as I told earlier as well, that we use one container for one process. After all, that is not a hard and fast rule. That is just a good rule of thumb. So, for example, not only can containers be, we can use like Apache can create one process per request. So, like that, we use one container for one process. As I already told, we should not install unnecessary packages because they unnecessarily increase our image size. Because if we do not we do not need Vim editor in our database image, so that is not required. But maybe we install that and that will increase our image size, so we should avoid installing extra or unnecessary package just because they might be nice to have, right? The last thing, we should use that multi-stage builds because they can drastically reduce the size of our final image without struggling to reduce the number of intermediate layers and files. So how it looks like, so you can see the Go app. We'll go to that. Okay, sorry, cd go app. Let me clear this, and you can see here cat docker file, or let me clear, let me just open it with Vim. It will be easier to read. Okay, so in multi-stage build, what we can use, we can use multiple from statements in our docker file. Like you can see here, we have used from instruction here, and also from instruction here as well. So you can see we have used two from here, okay, in our docker file. Each from instruction can use a different base. As you can see here, it is using Golang, and here it is using from scratch. And each of these will begin a new stage of the build. We can selectively copy artifact from stage to another. From the output of this stage, we can use within this another stage. So we can use both together within a single Docker file, where we do not need to create any intermediate image, or we do not even need to extract any artifacts from this re- uh, stage to our local system, or again copy to here, right? Like you can see here, copy from build, right? Hyphen hyphen from build. What it is doing, it is using this earlier build stage where we have saved this build as from this docker image as build. We are naming this stage as build, and here we are copying from this build stage bin project to in this build stage. Okay, so by default, these stages are not named like this, right? These are not named. We can refer them by their integer number, on which position we have used on, or which stage we are using them. However, we can name our stage by adding this as and a name in the from instruction, so that we can easily use these names like here we have used, right? So it will be easier to use these stages into other stages within the Docker file. And we can also control that if we only want to use this stage, we can also do that using hyphen hyphen target and that option stage name, right? If we given it name as builder or some test or something like that, we can use docker build hyphen hyphen target and this stage name. So it will stop at that stage. We do not necessarily need to build the entire docker file including every stage, which can be useful when debugging a specific build image, right? Because as we can run the specific stage and we can debug those. We can also use a debug stage with all debugging symbols or tools enabled, and also maybe a testing stage in which our app gets populated with test data, but building for production using a different stage which use real data. And within this multi-stage build, this option, right, copy from the existing stage within our Docker file, that is not limited. That we can only use the stage from the same Docker file. We can also use local tags available locally, or also can use Docker registry or tag ID, and that Docker client will pull the image if necessary and copy the artifacts from there. Okay, so we can use like hyphen hyphen from equal to nginx colon latest, right? That is nginx is not in this Docker file, but it can pull that image from Docker Hub or any repository and can use here. So, so the more thing, let me show. Yeah, like this. Let me just save it once and then reopen. Okay, we did not get that. So let me just, okay. So just focus on these three, right? This one. So we have used from Alpine image latest as builder. Builder is stage name. Then from builder, we used as build one, and from builder we also used as build two. Where build one we have source 1.cpp and build two will have source 2.cpp, right? Means we have these three. We can also have these three stages here apart from these two, one this scratch and one on the top, that Golang, right? So the benefit of using multi-stage builds, we can we can use any of the these stage name. We can use either builder or build one, build two, or it did not have any name, and on top of that other stage name as well. So that is much useful than creating different Docker files or scripts to include intermediate builds or stages. So we can use these multi stage builds as well to reduce the size of our images or builds. So that was all about the best practices till now I know, and if there will be some future enhancements in the best practices, I will bring here with new video. So till then, thank you. Thanks for watching. Keep watching, keep sharing, and thank you.